So today we are going to study the parts of sentence. So it's chapter 1, the parts of a sentence, subject and predicate. And the kinds of sentence. Here you can screenshot this picture and you can do it just like a game for studying. Okay. Sentence or sentence fragments. What is the sentence and what is the sentence fragment? So here, what does the car need to work? What does it need? So it needs fuel and engine. It needs fuel and engine. Here, a sentence. What is a sentence? The sentence is a word group. It's a word group that contains a subject and a verb, and that expresses a complete thought. So the sentence, it contains subject and verb, and it expresses a complete thought, such as, for example, she ate the apple. She ate the apple. She is the subject, ate is the verb, and this is a complete thought. Then, what is a sentence fragment? So it's a word group that looks like a sentence, but either does not contain both subject and verb, or it does not expresses a complete thought. For example, as she went to the school and we stopped. What happened as she walked to school yesterday? What happened? So it's a sentence fragment. Okay, so a sentence begins with a capital letter and it ends with a period. This is the period. Or a question mark or exclamation point. The question mark is like this, and the exclamation point that is like this. In here, for example, Sarah won a Nobel Prize at literature. The subject is Sarah, and the verb is won. So it is a complete sentence. Stop. The understood subject is that you have to stop, and the verb is already stop. So here, do you collect coins? Do you collect coins? So the subject is you, and do and collect is gonna be the verb. And here we have I actually rode on an elephant. I is the subject, and the verb is rode. Okay. A sentence fragment. What is a sentence fragment? Is a word group that looks like a sentence, but either does not contain both subject and a verb, or does not express as a complete thought. And remember, to tell whether a group of words is a sentence or a sentence fragment, ask yourself these three questions. What is the subject? What is the verb? And what is the complete thought of the word group expresses? If you cannot answer any one of these questions, the word group may not be a sentence. It would be sentence fragment. For example, as I walked to school yesterday, this is a sentence fragment. Why? Because as let's read this sentence again. As I walked to school yesterday, what happened? I don't know what happened. As I walked to school yesterday, this thought is not complete. What happened as I walked to school yesterday? But the correct one, for example, as I walked to school yesterday, I saw, for example, Mr. Saunders walking his dog. And a note, a word group that has a subject and verb, okay, and that expresses a complete thought is called independent clause. The independent clause, it can stand alone as a sentence. It does not need help. But the word group that has the subject and verb, but like it does not express as a complete thought, For example, such as I walked to school yesterday, what happened? So it's called subordinate clause. So the independent clause, it can stand alone. It does not need help. It expresses a complete thought. It has subject and a verb. But the subordinate clause, it can't stand alone. It needs help. It has subject and verb, but it does not express a complete thought. For example, here we have some exercises. Identify each of the following words group as a sentence or sentence fragment. If the word group is a sentence fragment, rewrite it to make it a complete sentence. For example, here, my aunt, my uncle, and my cousins at their house in the country last week. It's fragment. Why? Here, like because what happened there in the house country last week, then what happened? So it's a fragment. We can also write it. For example, I visited my aunt, my uncle, and my cousins at their house in the country last weekend. So this is a complete one. After dinner, after dinner, Aunt Mary told me about the history of Sharpie breed. So it's a sentence. She told me, and it expresses a complete thought. So here, bred these dogs in China. Who bred these dogs in China? Who? So it's a fragment. We can put people. People bred these dogs in China. And the B should be a small letter, just like this. Now, the next question, just look at all that loose, wrinkled skin. It's a sentence. Just look at that loose, wrinkled skin. Number 5, protects them from injury during fights. What protects them from injury during fights? So it's a fragment. We don't know what is the thing that protects. So we can put it. So like it protects them from injury during. This is correct. Now here we have gentle with children. Who is gentle with children? We don't know who. There is no subject. So it's a fragment. We can put they are usually gentle with children. Here we have playing catch with Queenie. So it's a fragment. Playing catch with Queenie. What is it fun? Is it nice? Is it bad? Is it good? What is it? So we can put is fun. The little balls of fur were Queenie's new puppies. It's a sentence. It has subject and verb, and it contains, expresses also complete thought. 9. Have you ever seen such a sight as these puppies? It's a sentence. It has a subject, verb, and it expresses a complete thought. What a good time we had. It is also a sentence. Now, exercise 2, identifying sentences. Some of the following word groups are sentences and others are sentence fragments. If a word is a sentence, write sentence. If a word group is not a sentence, add words to make the word group a sentence. And you can also do this as exercise for you. Okay. Now let's play. Grandma was not feeling well. Is it sentence or fragment? Grandma was not feeling well. If you said sentence, then it is correct. And don't forget, write in the comments the answers that are correct. And if you have any question, just write in the comments, and I will answer you as soon as possible. Sent Little Red Riding Hood to visit her. What? Who sent? So it is fragment. Excellent. The basket of food. Basket of food. It's just a subject. Where's the verb? What is the basket of food? So it's fragment. The wolf jumped on Grandma's bed. Oh, there's a subject, there's a verb, and it expresses complete thought. So it's a sentence. A brave hunter Rescued grandma. It is a sentence. My favorite books are picture books. So it is sentence. A lot of pages. What a lot of pages? So it's fragment. Turning the pages. Turning the pages. It's fragment because the subject and the verb. Yeah, but what it do? What is the what is the complete thought? What happens? So now we have second thing, subject and predicate. What is the subject and what is the predicate? Sentence. So in each sentence there is subject and there is predicate. There is subject and predicate. Sentence equation. Subject plus predicate equal sentence. So subject plus predicate equal sentence. The subject, what are we talking about? And the predicate, what are we talking about? The subject. The subject. The subject tells whom or what the sentence is about. So the subject tells whom or what the sentence is about. For example, Jennifer walked to the store. Jennifer walked to the store. Jennifer is the subject. Jennifer is the subject. Walked to the store is the predicate. In here, for example, we have after lunch, I will call my mother. So I is the subject. Secret hint. To find the subject, ask yourself who or what is doing something or about whom or what something is being said. For example, my best friend sits next to me in science class. Who sits next to me in science class? It's my best friend, so it's subject. Science class is very interesting this year. What is very interesting this year? It's the science class. The position of the subject. The subject may come at the beginning, in the middle, or at the end of sentence. After school, Teresa went to band practice. Teresa is the subject. It's not at the beginning. It's also in the middle. Under our house was a tiny kitten. Tiny kitten is the subject, and it is at the end. So here we have identified the subject in each of these sentences. We have many games used rackets or paddles. So many games is the subject. Tennis can be an exhausting sport. So what can be an exhausting sport? It's tennis, so it's the subject. Badminton rackets don't weigh very much. So badminton rackets is the subject. Table tennis paddles are covered with rubber. Table tennis paddles are covered with rubber. So here, table tennis paddles are the subject. Uh, racquetball uses special rackets, so it is subject. In Florida, citrus trees grow an important crop, so citrus trees. After 3 to 5 years, fruit grows on the new trees. So fruit is the subject. Does Florida grow all of the citrus fruits in the nation? Florida is the subject. California also grows oranges and other citrus fruits, so it's California. From Texas comes the strawberry grapefruit. So the strawberry grapefruit is the subject. So until here, we're going to stop because I will send the part two of this lesson. Now, bye.